Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so we've gathered your sources, looked through the reports, the memos, all of it. And today, we're diving into what feels like one of the most aggressive pre-deadline pushes we've seen this year.
It really does feel that way.
We're talking about Jacksonville, the Jaguars. Their new leadership seems to be, I don't know, trying to speedrun building a contender.
Right, like in 90 days or something. It's intense.
So you asked us to really dig into this trade aggression, and there's one name floating around that really catches the eye. Campbell, the potential return of a former franchise star.
A big name, for sure.
Our mission today, let's analyze the strategy behind this pretty significant roster shakeup. We need to check Campbell's actual performance. He is 39, after all, against the hard numbers, the metrics, and figure out, is this reunion a huge gamble or, a calculated move backed by data?
It's a really fascinating situation down there. And I think we have to start with the baseline fact. Ever since that new leadership group really took hold back in January.
Gladstone, Cohen, Baselli.
Right. That's the team. Since then, the Jags have been, honestly, one of the most aggressive teams out there on the trade market.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
This isn't just like tinkering around the edges. It feels like a full-scale organizational realignment, and it's happening fast, creating a lot of waves.
Okay, let's unpack that. So Gladstone, Cohen, Baselli driving this. But the philosophy, it doesn't seem like patience is the key word here. It feels like immediate upgrade.
EB optimization, yeah.
What's the hard evidence? It's got to be more than just a couple of signings, surely.
Oh, way more. You just look at the volume and the significance of who's coming and going. On the coming in side, they've traded for established guys. Tim Patrick, the receiver.
Okay.
Greg Newsome, cornerback.
Yeah.
Kalen Saunders, defensive tackle. These aren't project players. They're known quantities brought in to contribute now.
But then there's the going outside, and that's maybe even more telling about the urgency, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's where you see the real commitment to this strategy. They've actively moved key players, even young talent.
We're talking Christian Kirk. Huge offensive piece.
Gone. Then Tyson Campbell, a young corner with potential.
Tank Bigsby, a second-year running back.
Yep. And even offensive line starters like Luke Fortner and Fred Johnson. These aren't minor moves.
Trading away guys like Tyson Campbell, a fairly recent high draft pick, that's not what you typically do if you're playing the long game, is it?
No, not usually.
Yeah.
Shedding foundational young guys, shedding big contracts. It screams, we think we're close and we need resources now. It suggests they value immediate veteran impact over, say, long-term development potential in some key spots.
And our sources mention the money side, too. They've been busy restructuring contracts, moving money around specifically to create immediate cap space. What does that signal?
Well, it strongly suggests their plans are pretty concrete, right? Teams don't typically clear out significant cap space just for fun or to sit on it.
Right.
This kind of financial maneuvering combined with the player turnover, it really fuels that speculation. The phrase big plans for the trade deadline keeps coming up. They're basically creating the financial room to potentially absorb a significant, maybe short-term, contract.
Which leads us directly to the name Pro Football Focus has flagged.
Campbell.
Currently with the Arizona Cardinals. A former Jaguars great, but again, the age. 39. That's usually a massive red flag for a defensive lineman.
It normally would be, yeah. But this is where it gets really interesting. The metrics, the performance data, they kind of neutralize that age concern.
Okay.
It's a genuine paradox. He's 39, which is practically ancient in NFL terms for that position, yet PFF consistently grades him as an above-average player this season for the Cardinals. It suggests the interest isn't just nostalgia, it's based on current production.
Let's get into those PFF numbers because they're key here. For anyone listening who doesn't, live and breathe analytics, PFF grades every single player on every single snap, 0 to 100 scale. So where does Campbell actually stand?
He's just remarkably consistent and durable. The analysis shows he's on track for his 15th straight year with an overall PFF grade above 71.0.
15 years. Above 70.
15 years.
Yeah.
And just for context, a grade around 70.0 is generally seen as like a solid, reliable starter in the league.
Yep.
To maintain that for a decade and a half, especially playing inside on the defensive line where it's brutal, it's almost unprecedented.
Wow.
PFF calls him a well-rounded addition for Arizona because he does both well-run defense and pass rush.
Yeah.
He hasn't had to become just a specialist.
So not just a flash in the pan this year. He's consistently holding that line. What about his specific numbers for this season, 2025? What's his immediate impact look like?
The stats back up the grade. So far this season, 11 pressures generated. He's got a PFF run defense grade of 70.0, which is very solid.
Okay.
But the pass rush number is maybe the most eye-opening. He's already got 3 sacks, 13 total pressures.
Yeah.
And he's maintaining a pressure rate of nearly 10%.
10% pressure rate. From an interior lineman who's 39 years old. How good is that, relatively speaking?
It's really good. A 10% pressure rate is often what you see from elite edge rushers.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's getting paid the big bucks specifically to chase the quarterback.
Right.
For an interior guy nearly 40 years old to be winning his matchup and getting pressure on 1 out of every 10 pass plays, it shows he still has the technique, the leverage, the power, the motor. It means he's still an efficient disruptor, regardless of his age.
Okay, so that level of performance really sets up this potential trade dynamic perfectly. You've got Jacksonville, aggressive, needing defensive line help, and now with cap flexibility.
A motivated buyer.
And then you have Campbell performing well above his age suggests he should be.
The high-value asset.
So why would Arizona trade him if he's playing so well? Why to sell?
And that's where you connect the dots strategically for both teams. Arizona had maybe a promising start, but their season seems to have kind of hit the skids. Playoffs look like a long shot now. So when a team starts looking towards the future, a 39-year-old player on a 1-year contract becomes, frankly, the most logical trade chip they have.
Makes sense.
They can flip him for draft capital to help their rebuild. And, importantly, trading him opens up playing time for younger defensive linemen they need to evaluate for next year and beyond. It's a classic sell-high move on a veteran before his deal is up.
All right, seller's logic checks out. Now, back to the buyer, Jacksonville. Why Campbell specifically for their defense? What's the need?
The need seems pretty clear and measurable.
Yeah.
They have 2 excellent edge guys in Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. No question there.
What? Stars.
But the reports consistently say the defensive line as a whole has been inconsistent.
Yeah.
Particularly in generating pressure from the inside and sometimes struggling with run defense integrity. Campbell would be, as PFF put it, a boon. He offers that interior push on passing downs, but also reliability against the run. And crucially, his presence inside would command attention, potentially freeing up Hines-Allen and Walker on the outside even more. Makes the whole unit better.
Your sources brought up an interesting comparison point, too, about how hard it is to find reliable interior play right now. Something about the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a stark metric. It noted that Kansas City's interior defenders currently have the lowest PFF run defense grade in the entire NFL. Something like a 28.8,
Oof.
which just highlights the broader league context. Finding consistent high-level play on the interior defensive line is tough right now. There's a scarcity.
So Campbell's value is maybe even higher because of that lead-wide need.
Absolutely. When teams can't stop the run up the middle, it just compromises everything defensively. The fact that Campbell is maintaining that solid 70.0 run grade while also getting pressure at a near-elite rate makes him a pretty unique asset in the current market. Jacksonville wouldn't just be buying a name. They'd be buying certainty where a lot of teams are struggling.
Which brings us around to the, let's call it the emotional core of this whole thing, the reunion factor. It's not just a strategic fit, it's bringing back a legend.
The nostalgia is definitely part of the narrative, no doubt. But his actual performance during his first stint in Jacksonville backs up the hype.
It was short, though, right? Only 3 years.
Just 3 years, yeah. 48 regular season games. But incredibly productive in that time. The sources emphasize his 31.5 sacks in that span. That's the 4th most in the entire history of the franchise.
In just 3 seasons. That's actually a major feat.
It really is, considering how long others played there. And think about this. He made the Pro Bowl every single year he was in Jacksonville.
Wow.
He wasn't just good. He was genuinely elite during that stretch. Even his last year there, 2019, he put up 6.5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, a couple of forced fumbles. The history shows that when he puts on that uniform, high-level defense tends to follow pretty quickly.
So that elite performance track record is exactly what this new regime is likely looking at.
Precisely. They have a clear weakness, that inconsistency in the pass rush, particularly from the interior. And here's a guy whose current numbers, those PFF grades we talked about, show he can still perform at a high level.
Right now.
Right now. And he happens to have a history of instantly elevating that specific defensive unit and being beloved by the fan base. It's like efficiency wrapped in a feel-good story.
The risk, obviously, is that age finally catches up to him mid-season.
That's the gamble. But it seems offset, in their eyes perhaps, by the measurable high-level output he's delivering currently.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up for the listener watching this situation unfold before the deadline. What are the main takeaways from this deep dive?
I think takeaway number one is just how aggressive this new Jaguars leadership, Gladstone, Cowett, and Boselli, is truly operating. Trading away young assets, clearing significant cap space, it signals a very strong win-now approach. They seem focused squarely on maximizing this current window.
Takeaway two. The target, Campbell, isn't just a nostalgic hope. He's a 39-year-old performing at a remarkably high level right now. Those metrics, that 15-year streak of 71.0 plus PFF grades, the nearly 10% pressure rate this season, they prove his current value is real and justifies the potential cost.
And takeaway three, this isn't just acquiring talent for talent's sake. It's a move that directly addresses a specific, critical, and measurable weakness on their defensive line. It provides an immediate, proven upgrade alongside their existing stars. It feels like a move driven by impatience, maybe, but one backed up by solid performance data.
Which really leaves us with the final strategic question here, doesn't it, as we finish this deep dive. By going hard after a high-cost, short-term player like a 39-year-old Campbell, the Jaguars are making a very clear choice. Prioritize immediate contention over longer-term roster building or flexibility.
A definite gamble on the present.
So does this aggressive strategy mean the leadership truly believes the rest of the roster is already good enough for a deep playoff run this year? Or is it maybe a gamble they feel forced to take because they sense the window for their current core might be closing faster than we think? That's the real tension here, legacy versus longevity. Something to definitely keep an eye on as that trade deadline clock ticks down.